Welcome to the ePathshala lecture series on computer science for postgraduate students. Today in this session we are in the 8th module or the 8th session in the lecture series on computer graphics and visualization. So, we had 7 modules, previous modules, where we have learned some basics, and transformations was the previous session. And in this session, let us start with the next series of topics with 2D viewing. So, in this session let us understand something about 2D viewing, which will be followed by say clipping and the other topics to follow later. So, let us understand what clipping is or what 2D viewing is and what we do in that. So, in 2D viewing, viewing is something like, so we are applying a series of transformations. Viewing is also considered as applying a series of transformations. So, here we have the 2D viewing pipeline to start with, followed by window viewport transformation and followed by 2D clipping. In 2D clipping, in this particular module we will see what is point clipping, and in the next module we will take up the line clipping and text clipping and so on. So, let us understand the first thing in this session, that is 2D viewing pipeline. So, what is viewing pipeline? Viewing pipeline is we are actually trying to create an object and then we are trying to finally see it on screen in some position, isn't it? So, the first step in 2D viewing are, you can understand that we are performing a series of transformations to make this happen in 2D viewing. So, that is right from creating an object till the point where we see it on screen. So, we perform a series of steps. So, what are these steps? Let us see. So, to start with, first we have modeling coordinates. If you recollect the very first lecture, first lecture on computer graphics and visualization, we have learned this at the beginning there, that is the first step is to first create an object, or say you formulate an object. Okay, in creation we call this modeling coordinates, or we also call them as local coordinates, or so we can, MC indicates here modeling coordinates. So, modeling coordinates is the first step to create an object. So, now these objects are now converted for what is called world coordinates. That means we represent the same set of objects with respect to the world coordinate system. So, that means we have got a world coordinate system, now represent these objects with respect to the world coordinate system. So, modeling coordinates are the you can imagine the local coordinates, that is you can imagine an origin, you can imagine 3 mutually perpendicular directions, in 2D say 2 mutually perpendicular directions, create an object with respect to that origin, and what you get is now a modeled object. Now, keep this and place this in a 2D Cartesian coordinate system, what you get are the world coordinates. So, conversion from modeling coordinates to world coordinates is a kind of transformation. So, in 3D it is again we have got 3 dimensions, our third direction is what we get. So, from modeling coordinates to world coordinates, and the next step or the later step is from world coordinates to viewing coordinates. So, imagine you have created so many objects and now you wanted to actually have a view of these objects. The view is again a reference position in space, and you choose a position in space randomly, any position. So, imagine you have gone on a nice picnic or a tour, you have a camera with you, you are taking a photograph. So, for that you arrange yourself, you position yourself, you orient yourself, so for a nice view of the world. So, similarly here we imagine a viewing position, a reference position, and this is the origin of the viewing position, and 3 mutually perpendicular directions emanating from that position, and we have a view of the world. So, we are actually having a perspective with respect to the viewing coordinate system. We call this viewing coordinate system. So, world coordinates to viewing coordinates and viewing coordinates to normalized viewing coordinates. So, this step is important because once now we represent the objects with respect to the viewing coordinate system, The next step is to represent the objects as normalized coordinates. So, the importance of normalization. So, an important step here, normalization. Normalization is a step where we convert coordinates in any range we convert them to a range a range of values in the interval 0 to 1. So, we perform this step so that we get device independent coordinates. So, the fundamental idea is to have device independent coordinates with us, and maybe you can map your device independent coordinates to any device of your choice. I mean, depending, say for example, you have different devices with you on which you would like to see the images or see the graphics that you have created. So, maybe it's a laptop, maybe it's an iPad, maybe it's a big television, or maybe whatever, it's a computer screen or whatever be the display device. Every display device has got its own configuration, its own display parameters, its own configuration. So, how do we suit its own coordinate system, its own set of positions and so on. So, what do we do is once we have the device independent coordinates, which are actually normalized coordinates in the interval 0 to 1, we can map these coordinates to any device of our choice. So, the sequence follows like this. First we start with modeling coordinates, followed by that is the world coordinates, from world to viewing coordinates, viewing to normalized viewing coordinates, we can also call them as device independent coordinates, and finally the end device on which we would wish to see the graphics. So, that is device coordinates, because every coordinate system is different in terms of its representation, in terms of its configuration. So, let us see what actually happens in a typical window viewport transformation, or what is this window and what is this viewport and what are these terms. In graphics and in 2D graphics particularly, to say we have say the world. Once the world coordinate system is set up, the next step is to actually convert these world coordinates to viewing coordinates. That means, here what we want to exactly view is to be first selected. So, I think if you can take the analogy of a camera, hold a camera with your hand, and whatever that appears in the rectangle in the viewing area is what is captured actually on the film. So, that is what we are doing here, and that is we choose a particular part of the world, that is this rectangle indicates the part of the world that we are interested in to capture the interested part, and this part is actually to be taken in the viewport. Viewport is where we want to see, window is what we want to see. We can also call that as clipping window, because we are actually selecting, we are actually clipping, or we are actually focusing on only a smaller region of the world. So, the clipping window is generally assumed to be a standard rectangle. Okay. So, what we want to see is the window, where we want to see is the viewport. Now, how do we perform a window to viewport transformation? That means, this on the viewport, you can imagine viewport to be a region on screen, a rectangular region on screen. Now, the rectangular region that you have chosen to capture the picture and the rectangular region that you have assigned to view the picture finally on your monitor need not be of same dimensions. Again, let me repeat, the rectangles that for the window and the rectangle for the viewport need not be similar. So, you may either squeeze the rectangle on the viewport, or maybe you might have assigned another dimensions for the rectangle for viewing the selected picture. So, that is where we need to perform some scaling and maybe some translation as well. So, let us see how do we perform this transformation called window to viewport. Okay. For performing this transformation, we imagine a rectangular region in the world coordinate system. So, let us call that window. A window is a standard rectangle, and let xw min, xw max and yw min and yw max be the four infinitely extending lines, that make up the window boundary. Okay, that make up the boundaries of the window. Let me repeat, let xw min, xw max be the two vertical infinite vertical lines, and YW min, YW max be the two infinitely extending horizontal lines now that make up the window boundary. Now, given a point XW, YW in the window, see this point here, there is a red dot indicating a position. Now, what is its equivalent point in the viewport, assuming viewport has got different dimensions. So, now for a point here in window, that is say XW, YW, what is the equivalent point in the viewport, that is XV and YV. So, we have to find a mapping between XV, YV and XW, YW. So, assume let this rectangle in the viewport be in what is called XV min, XV max and YV min and YV max be the four infinitely extending lines that make up the boundaries of the viewport. So, how do we exactly find a mapping point for XW, YW in the window in the viewport? Okay. So, for this what we how is this equation formed? Let me explain this, maybe how these equations are formed. So, imagine you have this as the window boundary, that is this left boundary as the window boundary. From the left position, at what distance this point is, that is along the horizontal direction or along the x direction, what is the distance of the point. So, XW minus XW min will be the distance of this point, that is the length of this point from the left boundary, that is the distance of this point from the offset of this point from the left boundary. What is that? XW minus XW min. So, okay, what is that here we want to do is we wanted to take percentage distance of this point, than to just simply calculate distance of the point from the left boundary. We can calculate percentage distance of the point from the left boundary. What is percentage distance? If you treat XW min and XW max as the total distance, that is XW max minus XW min as 100% distance. Okay. What is XW minus XW min? So, what is this distance in the total distance? So, that gives us a ratio XW minus XW min by XW max minus XW min, that gives us a value in the interval 0 to 1, that is this point in the viewport should be exactly at the same percentage distance from the left boundary of the viewport. This point must be at the same percentage distance from the left boundary of the viewport. Say for example, this point is exactly in the middle, okay, along the horizontal direction. So, at 50% distance we say. So, this should be also exactly at 50% distance from the left boundary in the viewport. So, that is our assumption, that is what we are going to do here. So, how do we get percentage distance? XW minus XW min by XW max minus XW min multiplied with 100 gives us the percentage distance. So, that should be exactly equal to the percentage distance of this point in the viewport with respect to its left boundary, that is XV minus XV min by XV max minus XV min into 100. So, the into 100 on both sides get cancelled. So, this percentage distances are equal, the into 100 and into 100 on this side and this side get cancelled. So, we are left out with these two equations. Now, we want what is XV in terms of all other known parameters. So, you take all other parameters onto the right and keep XV on the left. So, what you get is a big equation here, XV is equal to XV min plus XW minus XW min multiplied with Sx, which is we can call this Sx as a fixed value given the window boundaries and the viewport boundaries. Sx is a fixed constant value. What is Sx? XV max minus XV min by XW max minus XW min. Why we call this Sx is Sx and Sy are generally used for notations in the scaling factors as scaling factors, and we use the same notation here, that is quite intentional. XV max minus XV min by XW max minus XW min. What does this ratio give? What is XV max minus XV min is this length, the horizontal length of the one of the horizontal boundaries. Okay. This divided by the xw max minus xw min. If this length, this boundary is smaller than this boundary, that is boundary of the viewport, boundary of the viewport is smaller than the boundary of the window, then the ratio xv max minus xv min by xw max minus xw min will be less than 1. That means anything you multiply with a value less than 1, the magnitude reduces. So, it is scaling down. So, anything that you multiply with values less than 1, we get scaled down values. So, that is why we are calling this the scaling factor Sx. So, if this boundary of the viewport is exactly equal to the boundary of the window in its length, then the ratio becomes equal to 1. That means there is no scaling that is to be performed, okay, no scaling. So, 1 is no scaling. When the lengths are different, then either there is upscaling or downscaling. So, Sx is equal to xv max minus xv min by xw max minus xw min, and Sy yv max minus yv min by yw max minus yw min for the y coordinate direction. So, if you form similar equation for y's, wherever there is x, replace that with y to get yv. So, xv we got here in the first equation, and in the second equation we got yv, which is yv min plus yw minus yw min into a scaling factor Sy along the y direction, and the Sy is actually a constant value, which is the ratio of the lengths of the boundaries, in one in the window and the other in the viewport. Okay. So, you can solve simple problems and take window boundaries and take viewport boundaries and try with a point and find its equivalent in the viewport. So, this shows what actually happens in a typical window viewport transformation in the real sense is take a position xw yw defined in the window, its equivalent position is found in the normalized viewport, or we call this normalized viewing coordinates or normalized viewing coordinates, you can call that as, and it is actually considered a square in the range of -1 to 1 and it is a square, and which is, and this point is again mapped onto a screen point. So, the screen dimensions may be different, that is the rectangles that you have assigned on the screen may be different from the rectangle that you have chosen for your window, in your window. That means these dimensions might be different, that is why we had to perform this transformation. So, that is so important, that because the end devices will have different dimensions and different viewing requirements. So, what do? Is we perform a normalization step before we actually convert that to any device specific coordinates. So, that is this step of conversion from window to viewport. Okay. So, let us get into the next discussion on fundamentally it is clipping. So, that is clipping is an important step that comes exactly when you have a window, you have chosen a rectangular region which we call that as window. It is a world coordinate system, we have chosen a rectangular region of interest and that we are calling it as window, and now whatever that is inside the window only should be captured. So, the essence is whatever that is inside the window, the inside the rectangular region is what is to be captured. So, how do we do that is by selecting whatever is inside the window. So, we clip, that is we clip whatever is inside the window, we discard whatever is outside the window. So, we are not interested in the portion of the world that is outside this rectangular region, but than to eliminate whatever that is outside the rectangular region, we consider whatever is inside the rectangular region. So, that means take a pixel in the world or take a position in the world, check if it is inside the window or if it is outside the window, and if it is inside the window select it for display, if it is outside the window do not select it for display or discard. So, all the points that are inside the window are only to be selected. So, that is the essence of clipping. Clipping is understood to be like imagine you are looking for an advertisement, you are looking for a job. So, you have a newspaper advertisement. What do is you take a scissors immediately and cut the ad. So, what you are doing there is you are not worried about the rest of the paper, you are worried about only the ad clip which is in a rectangle, isn't it? You select it, you clip it. So, we call that as clipping. So, whatever is of interest is to be clipped. So, the region that we have chosen as a rectangular region is called the clip window, as we did for the window viewport transformations. A clipping region is usually a standard rectangle. The word standard is important here, because any rectangle that is standard rectangle is assumed to be a rectangle whose boundaries or whose edges are actually parallel or aligned with the coordinate directions. So, a standard rectangle is something like whose boundaries or edges are actually aligned or are parallel to the coordinate directions, which are the x and y directions. That is a standard rectangle. Okay. We can also assume any rectangle that is tilted. You can also assume different orientations for your rectangle. That is a complex issue, but let us stick to only standard rectangles. So, let us see what this rectangle is. This is xw min and xw max, and yw min and yw max are the 4 infinitely extending boundaries that make up our window. Now, we are going to clip a portion of the world with respect to this rectangular region. In 2D clipping, we learn point clipping to start with, then line clipping, polygon clipping and text clipping. In this particular module, we will be learning point clipping, and in the next module we will be learning the line clipping. That is how we go with other topics. So, to start with, what is point clipping? Let us understand what is simply point clipping. Points that are inside the rectangular region are to be selected for display, and the points outside the rectangular region are to be discarded. So, how do we know that a point is inside a rectangular region or outside a rectangular region? For that, we can perform simple tests. So, take a point x comma y, and let us assume that xw min and xw max and yw min and yw max are the 4 infinitely extending lines that make up the window boundary. So, now see these two conditions here: xw min less than or equal to x, less than or equal to xw max. So, the x coordinate should be between the two vertical boundaries xw min and xw max. Similarly, the y coordinate should be between the two horizontal boundaries, the yw min and yw max. Let me repeat, the x coordinate should be between xw min and xw max, that is between the two vertical boundaries, and the y coordinate should be between the two horizontal boundaries yw min and yw max. So, if you observe this carefully, there are 4 inequalities in the two equations. There are 4 inequalities. That means, this x coordinate should satisfy 2 inequalities, and y coordinate should satisfy 2 inequalities. What are the inequalities? X greater than or equal to xw min and x less than or equal to xw max. If this condition is two inequalities are satisfied by the x coordinate, then the x coordinate is between the two vertical boundaries. Similarly, the y coordinate has to satisfy 2 inequalities: y greater than yw min, and that is y is greater than the bottom boundary, and y is less than the top boundary represented by yw max, that is y is between the two horizontal boundaries. Now, let us assume that one of the inequalities is not satisfied. So, let us take an example where one of the inequalities, there are 4 inequalities as I just said. Let us assume that one of the inequalities is not satisfied by the point. Let us take say x is greater than xw min, but x is also greater than xw max. So, let us take that inequality, that is the second inequality is not satisfied by the x coordinate, but y coordinate has satisfied both the inequalities, but x coordinate has satisfied only this inequality, that is x greater than xw min and x is also greater than xw max. Now, where should be this point lie? Where should this point lie, do you think, with respect to the clip window? Where should this lie with respect to the clip window region? Let me repeat, x is satisfying x greater than x w min inequality, but x is not satisfying the second inequality, that is x less than x w max, but instead it is showing a relation, say x greater than x w max. Now, where should this point lie with respect to the clip window region? Where should this point lie? It is x is greater than x w min and x is also greater than x w max. So, it is obvious that the point actually lies outside the window right next to the right boundary, but because the y coordinate is satisfying the two inequalities, the point lies within the two horizontal boundaries, but the point does not lie within the two vertical boundaries. So, it is an outside point, so can be discarded. So, a simple conclusion is, if any inequality, even one of the four inequalities is not satisfied by a point, the point is an outside point. You can now take other examples also, and you can see where the point lies with respect to the clip window region. So, that is how we understand this what is called window viewport transformation, and also point clipping. Point clipping is an important step before we understand line clipping, because point clipping makes the discussion easier in line clipping. Understanding point clipping gives you a better picture of line clipping, because it is an extension of point clipping. Line clipping is simply an extension of point clipping. So, in this module what we have learnt is how to perform that is, what is actually a 2D viewing pipeline, and what are the various steps in the 2D viewing pipeline, what is window and viewport transformation, and we do a normalization step in between, and finally a point clipping is actually selecting whether a point is inside and discarding whether if a point is outside the clip window. The point has to satisfy four inequalities. Only when the point satisfies all the four inequalities, we say that the point is an inside point. Even if one of the inequalities is not satisfied by the point, it is an outside point, and so can be discarded. So, with this with this discussion we come to the end of this module 8, and where we discussed this clipping, started the clipping discussion. So, in the 9th module we will be talking about line clipping, which is an important topic as far as the 2D graphics is concerned. Thank you.